where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his day.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Roy
Corbin, where are you?
Roy
Corbin, we need a podiatrist.
Oh, Roy Corbin. Okay, you're gonna have to see this.
Hey, Bonnie, how are you doing?
Okay, Rita, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, except Gail Glazer is really getting on my nerves.
I'm glad you made it.
Oh, Gary.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I didn't mean that Gail Glazer really was getting on my nerves. I love Gail Glazer, and I'm so glad that we have been friends for 40 years.
Rita, I love you too, Bonnie.
Oh, thanks.
And I love being here because it's wonderful and Sonia's here.
I know.
Gary's here and Melissa's here.
Well, the first one, the 20-year, it was just me and Candy Evans. That was it.
Really?
That was it. From
Oh,
the
my
whole
God.
class of 68, there were 2 of us.
That was sad.
And then the next one, 5 years later, there were 3.
Wow.
And then we started to get a turnout, but nothing like this.
This is amazing.
This is very cool.
It's
So
very
we've
cool.
made up, more than made up for that.
Yes. Well, this is my first one, so.
Well, we're glad you made it.
I'm glad I made it too. I cannot tell you. It took a lot to get here, but wouldn't have missed it for the world. Amy Haas.
Instead of introducing the goats to people on the grounds.
I want to say first thank you to the absolutely incredible Fran London. For which we owe everything. These pictures, the coordination, and the absolute love with which they brought us all here. I have the dubious honor and absolutely splendid pleasure of introducing our evening's acts. I do not know what they are or in what order they are going to volunteer to entertain this illustrious group of figures. I will tell you first, as the opening act, a very short story of our wonderful experience, or my wonderful experience at PA. You must know that I am from Brooklyn. And for the very first time, I went to take dance classes at PA. Being from Brooklyn, I never wore tights. Or that other thing that took a very long time to wear. But I must admit that the very first experience has been indelibly burned into my psyche.
Is that what you're
Well, that's a different story, Randy Ross. So therefore, on that very first day that all the boys were in the boys' room, in the lunchroom, that we were told that we had to parade across the lunchroom where everybody else was in these very fine outfits.
Still look good, honey.
The demonstration, please.
So there we were,
Demonstrate that walk.
next to the urinals, going like this.
Hold on for you.
And you would not dare ask anybody else for help. Don't touch me, I'm from Brooklyn. So eventually, we finally did go. Okay. Who's going out first?
He's still an actor.
No one volunteered. So since I was the tallest one, most of that stuff went over my head. So I became brave. I looked out the door. Anybody remember Cheryl Brown? I said, is she out there? So I said, okay, I'll go first. I opened the door. I ran across the lunchroom hoping there was no one there, but they were. And I got to the lunchroom door and I looked inside and I went, oh, there are naked women here with tight outfits on. I ran back and I said, guys, we can't cut this class. And we never did. I must admit, after all these years, that I never looked at any of you lecturers. Maybe Randy Ross did. But anyway, with that introduction, are there any other volunteers that dare come up here and entertain this crowd?
He's working on it.
So our itinerary tonight is
First Street.
Holy shit, Gary, you took a subway.
I'm amazed. Well, wait a minute. The girl came off the subway.
Julia Stilgard,
Kind of singing. You know, really.
Linda Hayes,
Yeah.
and I will be running out the back door as soon as I finish talking.
And Melissa was in the car.
And I wanted to impress. The restaurant was Asian, and it had to be the best. One day I met a woman who just took my breath away. I took her out to dinner, picked her up that very day. She looked just like an angel, but with mischief in her eyes. The words she whispered to me, well, they took me by surprise. She took me by the arm and said, let's make this to go. You know, Chinese food tastes better when it's cold. She's got eyes as hot as chili peppers, burning with desire. That wiggle in her walk just sets my heart on fire. Her hair is dark and sultry, her lips are soft and sweet. That girl gives me the fever to the bottom of my feet. We can spend the night together and never get to night. Even miss the dinner that we never got to eat. When love is on the menu, well, dinner is on hold. Besides, Chinese food is better when it's cold. Yes, sir. Chinese food tastes better when it's cold. In the morning, Chinese food tastes better when it's cold. Oh, yeah.
When we were about 12, and many times coming home on a subway, Julius would go, and then recently, he sent me an email, and he knew we were getting together, and knowing that I was such a great musician, he said to me, well, are you going to brush up on your instruments? And I said, I think I'm okay, because that's as much as I play. So now, we're still a guard. Directly from Las Vegas, our dancers were Stephanie! Where did she go? Where did she go? Who was really? Where is she? There she is! Okay, you remember the steps. Pin-up girls. Do we have any pin-up girls in the crowd? They're all pin-up girls. Come on! All right, husband.
There are a bunch of people who are 45 years older than they were, and they thought they looked really cool. But I thought that you might enjoy the song. But actually, I think we are all really, really good. So this song is
Looking really good. They're all
Pin-up girls have perfect bodies. Pin-up girls have fabulous breasts. Their thighs don't bulge and dimple, and they never have a pimple. Their eyes may have a twinkle, but you'll never see a wrinkle. They look so alluring, and it really is enduring. It's exactly real girls. Have hearts in their sag. Real girls have things that droop. But there's love that they'll provide you as they snuggle down beside you. The touches and sensation, and they make great conversation. They care about your life, your successes, and your strife. What more could a fellow want? 'Cause pin-up girls can make you happy. Looks may send you reeling, but they don't care what you're feeling. 'Cause pin-up girls are not like real girls. Real girls. Pin-up girls are the best world, where pin-up girls can stay. Where pin-up girls can stay.
Interesting year, 1968. The guys in that class thought about one extra thing besides trombone, what they had to memorize for drama class, or how their feet hurt from dance class. The guys had to think about one extra thing. And that was the year 1968, whether you wanted to go to Canada, to Mexico, because other people were ready to volunteer you and teach you how to go out and kill other people. It was that year. It was a year of ambivalence. It was a year of love, change. This class, the women took off their skirts and their bras and put on pants. The guys took off their ties and put on jeans. It was a time of change. It was a time that left an indelible image in who we are and our relationships. We grew, we left, we came back, but it's a special one. It's a special one. Even if we haven't spoken in 20 years, it's one that's unforgettable. And we know that in this room, you know you are loved. You know you are remembered. And you know that you're not forgotten It's all for the class tonight of 68 and our colleagues. We heard her music during the time of change. Someone said to me, "Do you remember her? She used to sit down and play guitar." Later on, we knew Melissa, but then we really got to know her through her music. Melissa Mann.
Here's the deal. We don't have a high school song? No. Are you kidding me? We're here. We're marching into the future. We don't have a song, Evelyn. What is the deal? And we're going to do a call and response because I am making this up on my feet, and because I've been drinking, I'll be singing flat and short at the same time. Thank you. All right, so if I sing something, you got to sing it back. If you can't sing it back, it's for shit. I'll never write it again. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to sing a phrase. You'll sing it back to me. This will be, the blueprint of a high school too.
All right, Melissa.
Okay, all right, are we ready? Is Miss Cat still here? No. Oh, shit. All right, this is free. Okay, so you repeat what I say. At the end, we'll come together. Maybe. No promises. Simple. Okay, here we go. O-P-A. O-P-A. We have a memory. We have a memory. O-P-A. O-P-A. The moment's here. The moment's here. You believed in us. You believed in us. You made us believe in us. You made us believe in us. You gave us one splendid moment. You gave us one splendid moment. You live in our hearts. You live in our hearts. Precious as gold. Precious as gold. Performing arts. Performing arts.
Again, on stage, Gary.
I was somewhere south of Jackson, Mississippi, heading for the Gulf of Mexico. When my eyes got bleary, I started getting weary. I needed me some coffee, don't you know? Well, I couldn't find a diner, but then there came a sign that made me think that the answer was at hand. But when I looked around, there was nothing to be found. I stopped and asked a local farmhand. I said, "Excuse me, sir, but can you tell me where a fella might buy his cup?" He said, "There ain't smokes, and if you get stuck, I can offer you some rope, but there ain't in hot coffee, just a lazy dog out on the road." So now if you find yourself Jackson, Mississippi, and you need to find a place to get some Joe. Well, get your coffee ration at the nearest service station. Don't go chasing wishes off the road. Yeah, the coffee may be bitter, but son, you best consider that at least it gets you where you want to go. Instead of spending hours getting lost and feeling sour, take it from a guy who ought to know that there ain't no coffee in hot coffee. I'm sorry for to disappoint you so, but there ain't no coffee in hot coffee. Not a single place where you can go. Whoa, whoa. You can't buy no pie, you can't get no smokes, and if you get stuck, they can offer you some rope, but there ain't no coffee in hot coffee. Just a lazy dog out on the road.
This is not American Idol. This is not even Solo Tu Voz from Telemundo. But is there anyone else that would like to share a song, a dance, or a ditty to this illustrious crowd? Oh, this illustrious.
Get Matthew and Jackie over there.
And then get somebody from Roosevelt Hospital to send the script.
Somebody please get out your Google and Google Roosevelt. I am not introducing any dancer tonight unless you do. But I do want to end with a small note to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to practice my English. Since my name is Jose. But I don't go by that name anymore, since I realized recently that my family calls me Joe.
They don't know?
I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But I do know one thing, that this crowd, for a few years, got to know a little of me. And tonight, I've had the real pleasure to get to know a little of you. And maybe I can take a small memory of you, and you can take one of me. And you know, this is Class of 16.
Welcome, all of you. Welcome, performing arts. Annual reunion. And look at you, beautiful, wonderful, glorious, spirited people that have come out for this event tonight. But the first thing that I want to do, and the most important thing that I have to do, is to introduce you all to someone that you all know and love dearly, Shirley Katz. By the way, she's going to talk immediately, but I want you to know that she remembers each and every one of you, and remembers the grade that she gave you.
Welcome to our world.
Weren't you going to tell them that story?
What?
Joanne, about you know where, when, 3
Yes,
weeks
I'm going to
ago?
tell the story about Shirley.
Joanne Rugerman, are you going to tell the story?
I'm going to tell
Then
the
you
story.
should tell than I.
Yeah, because this woman, Ben Vereen, was inducted into the first LaGuardia Hall of Arts fame, whatever, we're fame. They made a Hall of Fame, and he was the first one inducted.
Priscilla Lopez
Priscilla Lopez was there, and Tanya Perkins was there, and all these big stars were there from Broadway and Hollywood, people that have worked with Ben. This stole the show.
So wait,
So wait, now
we have to talk. Kim Bruno, who was the principal of LaGuardia High School called me and said, I think you know Ben Vereen. I said, yes. He was in my homeroom, section 67, room 308. Quiet young man. And he said, would you say a few things about him? Well, there really isn't much you can say, but he was a rather withdrawn, quiet gentleman. I'm chatting with Belle Malinka, and I said, Belle, I have to say some things about Ben Vereen. So she said, this is Belle Malinka speaking, she said, Helen Tamiris said that he was like a young Paul Robeson.
Wow. Yeah.
Interesting. So I said, all right, now I know what to say. So I come there a few weeks ago. They were having a tribute for him. Anybody can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Have a tribute for him because they wanted to raise funds. So now, Joanne, you were there. So
I was in the audience.
You were in the audience.
I was in the audience. And she comes on stage with her cane like this and this canoe boot she has on right here.
Ligament problem.
Yeah. So she walks in and there's a wire across with a microphone. And she says, stop, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait because if I trip over this wire, I'm going to have to sue the school. See, I do. See, I can't do it the way she. The whole audience just, she got the biggest laugh of the whole night. Other people were trying to be funny. And we just loved you. Wait, okay. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Shirley. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Shirley. And what we do. When you're not near us, we're blue. Oh, Shirley, we love you.
The funny thing was,
you got all these phone calls.
I don't know if you know of an organization in Israel called the Weizmann Institute. It's a school for young scientists in which they do humanitarian, science and biology and astrophysics and all those things. And I'm kind of slightly involved. How? Financially, of course. So the next morning the phone rings. And somebody says, Shirley, I hear you were the hit of the evening last night. And I said, I was the head of the evening. Well, so-and-so, who is head of the Northeast Regional Section of Financial Development was there. And he said, I know that name, Shirley Cascone. I see her name on the list of donors. I said, you had a phone call from that person about moi? And then the phone rings again, and my other friend called, hey, Shirley. So I said, wait a second, I better write all these things down. I can't get the telephone. So that was a lovely thing.
Yeah, but I wish you'd been there.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, what the heck.
The truth of the matter is, we have all been there. We have all been there because we have all, at one time or another, been in her class. And we know what an inspiring and dynamic and warm and loving, nurturing individual that Shirley has been to all of us. She is one of the ties that binds us.
It was my life.
So there's one more Shirley story that we have to share with you.
Okay, so,
Joe Piazza.
So Shirley and I have been friends off and on for several years, and I said to her, we were talking about her history, how she came to be so passionate about math, because she was talking about us and the dancers and the singers. So I asked her about her passion. So I said, Shirley, can you just write an equation for me or a mathematical?
This is tonight.
That would be like the secret to life that I could always take with me, put in a box, and would say E equals MC squares, you know. So she wrote this very quietly, just tonight. She goes, okay, Joe. She goes, car A left the station at 7. She's saying read slowly. They get it. They get it. the drummer. I'm not invoicing. Okay. So car left the station at 7. Then she says car B left a station at 65 miles an hour traveling east. She says both trains left about 10 a.m. What time do they crash?
Wait, one more. Barry Clarkson, who is a board member, the
Barry,
board
the class
treasurer.
of 55. Barry,
See?
did you do the knitting or did Elizabeth Shaw do the knitting next to you?
She did, I assure you. I didn't know how to knit, my mother told me. But I saw someone make Shirley angry. We were doing progressions, mathematical.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, and some wise guy.
But that's the days when students use the subways.
Oh, you did.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Somebody got up and wrote on the backboard a mathematical progression. 14, 42, 72, 96. And she didn't get it. And neither did most of us. We actually didn't get it. And then when they told her it was the express stops on the side. And I do have one story. I had a reunion at my house way back in the 80s or early 90s or something. And I only invited, I'm from 55, so I invited 54, 55, and 56. And Shirley came, and I told the story, because I don't know if you know, I don't know how long it went on. Shirley would buy you a free ice cream soda if you got 100.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so I said, I made a liar out of Shirley Katz-Cohn because I got a 99 and she still bought me the soda. Because she actually wrote or called, I don't remember, to the Regents, and I was sick. The day we learned, it was algebra. No, geometry, it was geometry. And I was sick the day we learned the 6 steps. So I proved it in like 12 steps or 14, and she says he deserves 100.
Somebody who still says he owes me an ice cream. I probably slipped up. Perfect.
So I just want to say, in concluding, I just want to thank you all. This class of 68 has been absolutely marvelous for all of you to come out in the force that you did. Thank you. And congratulations on still being together and still wanting to be together 45 years later. We hope to see you next time at your 50th. And to all of you, we have no school anymore. The performing arts has ceased to exist. You are all the spirit and the legacy of performing arts. You carry its memories, and it's only by being together and getting together and staying together that our legacy endures. Thank you all.